Right, let's look at Friday's live games. Friday and Saturday's live games, because thankfully they've staggered these ones. So on Friday we've got 7:45. It's probably the classiest of the four eliminators. It's Sweden versus Italy. The second leg is on Monday at 7:45, but we'll focus on the first leg. 7:45 on Friday, Sweden versus Italy. And Ian Griffin, how do Paddy Power bet on this one?
We are 5-4 Italy, 21-10 the draw, and 5-2 Sweden.
You can go first, Ian. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, Sweden look decent enough in qualifying. They beat France at home. They look to be a team a bit classier than Northern Ireland, but no superstars, but they just work well as a team. Yeah, like the Greeks, I think the Italians might go and just try and spoil the game and just get them in the return leg. I wouldn't be surprised here if there's no goals in the game, and 0-0 at 13-2 probably would be a decent bet. But I think it's going to be the game will be a draw. So the draw at 21-10 is the bet here, I think.
Ian goes for the draw. Henry, what do you go for?
Italy, probably my best bet of the qualifiers, I think. Obviously, they finished second behind Spain. You know, Spain, there's no shame in that. Spain, obviously, one of the best teams in Europe. You could ignore the 3 games sort of after they lost to Spain, because that effectively meant they were finishing second place, so they weren't really off at all. They're still very solid at the back with Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, and that's what Sweden are not solid at the back at all. They only kept 1 clean sheet against the 3 good sides that they played in their section, which Holland, France and Bulgaria. And, you know, on paper it looks good finishing above Holland, but Holland were pretty shambolic in qualifying. The game where Holland needed to score, you know, beat them 12-0, whatever, to qualify, Sweden just set up to, you know, try and avoid that. And for parts of that game, it looked like Holland were going to do it. They're just really not convinced at the back. Lindelof, Man United's good on the ball, but still needs a lot to learn about defending. Grankvist, his partner, doesn't convince me. So yeah, I mean, I expect it to be a narrow Italian win, like maybe 1-0, 2-0, but I expect Italy to win.
Mark?
Yeah, I thought the draw probably in the first leg. I don't expect Italy to be overly ambitious. I mean, Ventura, the coach, got absolutely slaughtered for playing 4-2-4 away to Spain, which effectively, you know, he'd given up the game, I think, before it even started. So I'm expecting them to be more cautious, otherwise he'll be out of a job. Got a lot of experience defensively and in midfield. He picked Jorginho, which I think is a good move, the Napoli midfielder, the Brazilian-born. Brazil was sniffing around him, so he's had to nail him down. Now, Sweden, though, at home, they drew with Holland, maybe not a great result, but when they beat France, I mean, that one looked like they was heading to a draw, and then Lloris made that poor clearance and Toivonen chipped it in from the halfway line. Otherwise, we'd have been looking at 2 home draws against the sort of 2 biggest teams in that group. So I wouldn't be so. I mean, I think Italy would happily take a 1-0 or something like that. So the draw for me.
Righty-ho, and on Saturday it's the big one for Ian. It's 7:45 in Copenhagen. Denmark versus the Republic of Ireland. You going over for it, Ian?
No, I'm staying here.
What about the second leg? You managed to get a ticket for the second leg?
No, I'll go on the drink somewhere though.
Oh, excellent. That'll be good. Jolly good. Right, so by the time it kicks off, Ian's going to be legless, but what is the latest betting on the match from his company, Paddy Power?
3-4 Denmark, 9-4 the draw, and we're going to stay top price on Ireland for the remainder and up until Saturday at 5-1.
5-1, the Republic of Ireland, blimey.
5-1, yeah.
Well, you're the man.
Yeah,
this is the biased perspective, but we've got a view from the lads. What are you going to do?
I wouldn't back the 5-1 with your money.
Really?
Christian Eriksen scored like 40% of the goals in qualifying, so he's 8 out of 20 goals for Denmark. He takes the pens, he takes the free kicks. We've gone bottom price 5-1 to score first, but it's still probably still a bet. I think the market has overpriced Eriksen to score first.
Okay,
so probably
that's the bet for you.
First, yeah.
And the beauty of that bet for you, Ian, is that, you know, it could still cop, and the Republic might just still win or nick a point, mightn't they? So you're not being a complete traitor, are you?
Now, as I said, I thought it'd be closer in the betting, so I think Ireland to qualify at 5-4 is probably a decent show as well.
Righty-ho. Henry, what do you reckon?
Denmark to win 0 for me. Yeah, I'm not particularly keen on Ireland at all. I mean, they work hard, but they were lucky to beat Wales to get to this stage. That was Wales without Gareth Bale, and Wales really dominated that game. Ireland had sort of one chance and scored. There's not really much up top for them. They played Murphy up front, and you know he's just for players to play off him. But they've got a few players out as well. McCarthy's out, Walter's out, David Miller's out, possibly Hendrick and Ward are out as well. So. And with Denmark, they lack a top quality striker, but with Christian Eriksen on the set pieces, they've always got a chance from set pieces. He creates a lot of chances for whoever they do play up top, and at the back with Christensen and Kjær, they're pretty solid. So yeah, Denmark to win 0 for me.
Mark, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I like the Eriksen one. I mean, he scored in 6 of the last 7 qualifiers. Absolutely running the show for them on the free kicks. He's on penalties. I suppose Martin O'Neill will know that and try to shut him down. But the one thing I would say about Ireland is that they turn up in big matches. They beat Bosnia at this stage at the Euro playoffs. They beat Italy when they needed to beat them to qualify for the knockout stages.
They've got big bollocks, haven't
they really have. Yeah, I mean, they went to Wales. The football's horrendous, but I mean they still managed to win the game. So I do respect their qualification chances, even though I think Denmark are the better team. But in the first leg, I think Eriksen could be the difference.
Okay. Anything that we might be looking at for the second legs, lads, that you might think is worth bearing in mind? And now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the first leg, do we? But could you see, just in terms of general play, Mark, that the games will open up a bit? Because I mean, the way everyone's talking about these 4 games, the first legs, it's like you want to do a 0-0 Yankee, an under 1.5 Yankee, and a sort of an acca on the no in the both teams to score, doesn't it?
I mean, I think you've just got to be sensible about it. I mean, international football, when the stakes are high, the goal expectancy is low anyway. You get to the knockout stages of the Euros, and we saw that in the European Championship, and this is probably even bigger than that, isn't it? Because to miss out on the World Cup for somebody like Italy, for instance, would be a national disgrace. I think Ireland maybe would be a team. As long as they're still in contention for that second leg, just for what we were just talking about, their ability to perform when it matters most is quite remarkable. And I think Martin O'Neill teams actually have done that throughout his tenure, where he's Celtic and Leicester and teams. You look at them, you don't want to watch them particularly, but he's unbelievable at getting big results.
Okay, let's see if there's any good bets elsewhere on the international coupon. It says here that England play Germany and Brazil at Wembley. That's a bit cruel. I mean, they'd be hard enough pressed to beat either of them. To play both of them at the same time, they've got no chance, have they? When are those games?
The Germany game's on Friday. Tuesday, I should.
Is it?
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday. Okay. Do you fancy anything, Martin? Any of the games that isn't your nap?
I thought that maybe Timo Werner's got 6 in 8 for Germany. England are sending it's a very experimental team that they're sending out, and I think Brazil will beat England in the second game. Brazil take every game seriously. I mean, they played Bolivia ridiculously high altitude, and he still sent his best 11 for that game. And then Chile needed to beat Brazil in the final round of qualifying to go to the World Cup. Brazil still turned up, took it seriously. I think
is, though, if you're a Brazilian footballer, there's hardly any guarantee their place. There's so much quality
exactly,
in there, isn't there?
And I think that the idea that Brazil bat a lot deeper than what England do. So if there's a lot of changes, I'd rather be on Brazil.
Henry, any friendly fancies for you?
Yeah, just one Honduras. Well, it's qualified Honduras to beat Australia. Honduras are a pretty strong side. Australia really weak these days. And also there's the time zone angle there. It's 10 o'clock kick-off our time, and that's sort of 7 o'clock in the morning Australia time. So maybe a little angle there. I think Honduras are about 10 to 11 chances.
Might be a bit tired, yeah? Still
it's an early start, isn't it?
Pyjamas.
Going to be on the coffee,
Tough one. Jet lag is brutal.
Yeah.
I've never been able to survive it.
Righty-ho, let's get the best bets. Do we have to sing it ourselves this week, or is Steve doing it? Sounds like we've got to do it. Right, all together now. 1, 2, 3.
This will not be
beaten. Ian Griffin, you go first. What's your nap?
Right. Just looking at the England midfield that they've this squad, and it's pretty hard to find a footballer here. Eric Dyer, Lingard, Livermore, Loftus-Cheek, Ashley Young, Jack Cork. They're going to be up against the likes of Ozil, Kroos, Sané and Draxler, and I don't even see them getting the ball, never mind scoring. So Germany here are just going to dominate the game, and 11-10, you'll be all over that.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't argue with that. Henry, what's your nap?
Scotland. Malcolm Mackay's obviously auditioned to get the job permanently. They've named a bit of an experimental squad, but I think there's a bit of overreaction to the prices there. Holland was shambolic in qualifying. Not much has changed apart from Robins retired. They're pretty paceless, Holland. I fancy Scotland.
When's that?
That's on Friday, I think.
Is it?
Saturday? Tonight, Thursday, isn't it?
Scotland to beat Holland. Mark, what about
I'm
you?
going for the. It's a huge African World Cup qualifier. Ivory Coast against Morocco. Ivory Coast need to win to qualify for the World Cup. Morocco need a point in that game away from home, and I think that Morocco or the draw double chance is the way to go. In this one, Morocco have not conceded a goal in qualifying so far. Renard, their coach, is much better than Ivory Coast coach Mark Wilmots, who did such a shambolic job when he was manager of Belgium. And actually, if you look down the Ivory Coast squad these days, you know, Yaya Toure, Didier Drogba, that we've become used to seeing, no longer around at all. We've got Wilf Zaha, but I was looking only two players playing the Champions League for them: Serge Aurier at Tottenham and Dai at Basel. Eric Bailly's out suspended, so I think Morocco can definitely avoid.
And when's that?
It's on Saturday.
That'll be a good one.
It will be, and also, I mean, Ivory Coast under pressure. I mean, I think we've seen this film many a time. So I'll be opposing them.
I'm going to go for one domestically. Oxford v Northampton. You like Oxford, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, I think the only 4 times they've lost this season, I think I've backed them every time.
Okay, well, I'll put them up at 4-5 to beat Northampton. Okay, thank you very much, chaps. Thank you, Ian. Good luck with all the weekend tipping and your betting. We're back next Thursday when the proper stuff resumes, so do join us for that.
Check out Paddy's new VIPP Club. Get a £10 free bet every week when you place 5 bets of £10 or more. Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shops. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.